Does that make me hate people? Does that make me love people in their complexity? I mean, in other words, in a certain sense, you've established an empirical data. You're an empiricist, as you said this morning, if I'm quoting you correctly. Right? And your empirical data is right. And as everybody in the world is complex. I think I cited this morning, Rabbi Aryeh Levine, right, who in his, who's like this great righteous, figure, who says, in his ethical will at his deathbed, that the only thing, that he has to kind of do kapara, do atonement for, right, is the sin of, seminal emission, right? Meaning, that even this righteous person had a part of his life, I don't want to call that sinful, that's not my point, but which was not under control, which was kind of, acting independently. And, he has to be in a relationship to that, and so the idea of the kind of righteous rabbi, right, or the righteous figure who claims, I am perfected, I am enlightened, right, I am there, right, it's bullshit. It's just not true. Everybody's complex, everybody's flawed. And by the way, I have with me Soul Prince, your favorite book. I was thinking of describing it to you and giving you a copy here. Here we go. It's just we don't have a video, right? But I write in the beginning of Soul Prince, in my own, self-description, so I write, and I don't know if you've ever read this or not read it, but I write in it someplace, in his own self-description, Gafni calls himself a flawed human being, forever striving. So that's my self-description. And I'm a flawed human being, for sure, forever striving. Just by the way, I can't resist the parentheses here, with your permission. I don't remember it's you or someone else, but someone keeps writing online. It's like it comes up when my name comes. Oh, he changed his name from Winiarz to Gafni and he's hiding. Which, of course, is the most ridiculous thing in the world. In all of my books, it says, born Marc Winiarz. I'm reading from Soul Prince, page 318. Right? Born Marc Winiarz. He adopted the Hebrew name Gafni on taking up residence in Israel 12 years ago. A symbol of identification with the spirit of, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So actually, my name was Winiarz, and all my book establishes that as my name. Nothing hidden here. I think for a little while in my 20s, my secretary spelled my name Winiarz. It's easier to pronounce, Winiarz, right? But actually, it's nothing hidden, nothing nefarious. Just when people go to Israel, they obviously Hebraicize their names, like many people did, like I did. It's published in all my books, all my lectures. I couldn't resist that little parentheses, right? We got a little smile coming from Luke here. It's just since there's no camera, I can report the smile.
I should have this on video.
We'll get the next one on video. So just back to our thing here. Okay, let me throw it over to you. So that's what we're talking about here.
Right. I didn't have any response. I wasn't sure if that's a question or.
Okay. What was I didn't sleep that well last night. Are you tired? You got up really early this morning.
Yeah, I didn't sleep last night.
Great. So the topic Luke and Gafni just had a mind lapse. The topic we were talking about before I diverged.
You said you psychoanalyzed me.
Right.
I said that there was validity to your analysis.
Right.
And then you elucidated that.
And then
you prefer to concentrate on what's gorgeous in people. And you feel like that I concentrate on what's
flawed. What's flawed in people. So maybe can you talk to that a little bit?
Well, it's again, I think it's a symptom of the craft. 1,000 airplanes landing safely at Salt Lake City today is not news. One airplane crashing in Bangladesh and killing 85 people, that is news. So if I had a choice between writing about 10,000 airplanes that landed safely and the one airplane that crashed, I would prefer to write about the one airplane that crashed.
So to translate that, so if I have a choice about writing about the 98% that may be good in a person, or the 2% that's flawed, right? The news is the 2% that's flawed.
Well, news may be one little bit of that 2%.
Or one little bit of that 2%. If the 98% they did well, whatever. That's just not news.
It's not news.
Okay, so let me. Can I go with that for a second? Okay, so let's take Bill Clinton for a second. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Bill Clinton's been on the campaign trail with Hillary, and one of the things I thought was so unfair to him, he must have done hundreds, thousands of stump speeches, right? And he does each one flawlessly. He's working day and night. He's had quadruple bypass surgery. He's helping his wife, and then someone sticks a camera, in his face at some point where he gets mad.
And he loses his temper.
For 3, right? It's on YouTube. Right. And all of a sudden, the entire campaign is about this one mistake Bill Clinton made. And all the good that he did on the campaign trail, and all the decency and the caring, gets wiped out in a moment of YouTube. So to me, that's a violation. To me, that's actually, that's a distortion of reality. Right? And that to me, let me use your terms, that's a violation of empiricism. It's a violation of what's empirically true. What's actually true is that Bill Clinton was decent, caring, compassionate. He was out there on the campaign trail doing a great job, holding a really level head, exhausted, once he slipped. I mean, here's a question for you. Could I take one Luke Ford sexual mistake, which you can tell me about today, but no, we're not asking personal questions. Sorry. Right? But, and blow it out and say that is what Luke Ford is? Of course I could.
Now, let me stop you before you...
Please, go ahead. You're up.
I have found that as a journalist, the politicians have got the most stupid group of people you can talk to. So I have not been following Bill Clinton on the campaign trail. I see the same news as you may see, but I've not been following it carefully, and I have not been thinking about it. But it is entirely possible to me that angry 3-minute rant may be the most significant 3 minutes of his time on the campaign trail, and everything that Bill Clinton has ever said that I've seen has been that big.
Well, I accept the emendation, which is basically an emendation about what, you're kind of apprisal of politicians, right? I don't know politicians well, so I don't even have an opinion. I've heard the opinion you express is obviously shared by many, many people. I don't have any direct knowledge of it, so I can't comment on it. So let me leave aside. I accept the emendation. Let me leave aside the...
Let me see if there's any more of this.
Please.